Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Scotty Alwood.
Scotty. Rivals
And Sarah.
1, episode 3 recap. And if you want to listen to us, follow along with us, loyal listeners, check out Hulu Plus. That's how I'm viewing this season. I don't know about you.
I have downloaded a lot of seasons. I have them all. So I just watch them, as we go along with it. I go, oh, let me pull that up. Since I have it, it's in my possession.
Illegally downloaded.
Guess what? When Hulu gets rid of it, you're not going to have it anymore, and you're going to be begging me for a copy.
No.
You're going to listen to this podcast and go, I remember when I could see it, and now you can't, though, is what I'll say in the future.
So this beginning of this episode is little bitty character interactions. They might sound a little boring, but they're definitely seeds that plant, for the story and character arcs and shit. Right?
You don't think about it when it happens, but then later you go, oh, that's a reason why I like this person.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with, you might not like him, but we start off with Mandy and CT sunning outside, and Wes is, pining for Mandy. He's like, it's just so disappointing that, she's basically his groupie and stuff. If I had a target this season, it would be her.
I get a very creepy vibe from him for this episode, just because he is so clearly in love with Mandy in this whatever crushing way that he is. He's lusting after her, and you can tell that he just hates CT even more because of this reason. He might have just been like, yeah, CT, he's good competition, whatever, let's go, I think I can beat him. But the fact that Mandy is in this situation and he clearly has a crush on her, you can just feel his hatred towards CT in every single sentence he talks about CT.
I mean, it is kind of interesting that, that was his old partner, We never had any kind of inkling to, whenever they were, playing together and stuff, he was like, oh, yeah, man. But meanwhile, what else is happening?
Good old Mike.
Mike, he's like, I'm going to dress like someone in the house today, and it's going to be Tyler. So
was that Tyler's shirt, or did he just happen to have the same exact shirt? What's the behind the scenes of this? I don't know. It looked like the same thing. Very confused. You don't think Mike's going to be this type of person that would do something like this. He was just talking about wheat the episode before, and everyone's calling him boring. Maybe that's what made him go, you know what, I got to step it up a notch, and I'm going to put this thong on and just start walking around and pretend to be Tyler. It's very strange to see him go from, it's like a 180 in my opinion.
Yeah, but
people are
that's
complex.
Fine. It attracts the attention of Paula, the fucking
she loved his little ass.
Alpha female in the house. One of the alpha females. It's probably Evelyn, right?
You also have to think they have nothing else to do though. So maybe Mike was like, well, I talked about weed already. I got to do something else. Might as well put this song on.
That was everything.
That's all I had.
What do I got to do? I'll just steal someone's identity today.
So. But yeah, Paula loves him immediately. And it's weird to hear for them to edit it into this moment. It's not like Paula and Mike had a great conversation. It's Mike is walking around with his butt cheeks hanging out. And Paula's like, you know what? He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, she's like, well, I've never met anyone like him before, ever, And I would agree, the guy, he doesn't really adhere to any kind of reality TV competition douchebaggy rules. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just this little guy with a mind and a heart, I guess. I don't know.
And what I assumed to be nice butt cheeks, Vince. We didn't get to see him, but Paula is a big fan.
Okay,
what's the deal with them getting the message, on the phone, and then they're like, oh, I just got a message from TJ, because one of my notes is Sarah gets pillows thrown at her at this point. They're like, hey guys, I got a message. Whoa, pillows! To me, it just seems so strange.
Yeah, and this is spliced with fucking Mike wearing nothing at all. You know what I mean? It's just it's nudity, male nudity, and then friendly pillow fights. It's it doesn't fucking mix well. And what is the point of these clues anyways? They're always just really, they serve no purpose anymore, because they're not saying hey, I got a clue on my T-Mobile sidekick, whatever. Do they even announce what the phone is anymore?
As at least then it would have been commercializing and whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the only reason. I never even thought about that until just now you said that, because I'm like, these clues do nothing. The people go, oh wow, a clue, great. Anyway, back to getting drunk.
Sometimes they even try to guess what the clue means, and
they got to.
It
It's always
matter.
like a little cute thing, and then they're always wrong, and then we move on in life.
Yeah, but what's the fucking point? All right, whatever. Like, that's definitely a segment that could be dropped. To this day, they're still doing it. It's fucking weird.
Did you know what was the deal? Is there some kind of behind the scenes information as to why Wes had a bunch of red marks all over his body, by the way? Did you notice this? It looked like someone was scratching the hell out of his left shoulder and back. Very confusing. Anyway,
he was wrestling though in the jungle. Maybe that was from. Maybe Davis was scratching his back.
Ah,
like,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I forget.
That's my move in bed, Davis says. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jasmine and John A.
Yeah,
they come
what
about.
About them?
They come about and they start talking because they're like, every girl in this house has done challenges before and have each other's back, but we don't have that. So they're just kind of reminding the show that they're the rookies or the underdogs, and let's do this. It's them against the world. So
it's funny that you bring this up because after I wrote
you didn't
all
have
the
a
notes,
note about that at all. You don't care about them.
I actually crossed out the Jasmine John A note. I'm like, come on, they're rookies. It's typical shit. Like, everyone says that. They're like, we have to win or we're going in. Like, everyone says that. But right. It's great that you brought it up, Scott.
I didn't feel like it was a cross-out worthy note, folks.
All right. Well, this is the other stuff that I
guess I enjoyed it because they were actually like trying to figure out something. It shows more of the actual game itself, because we just saw, Red Mark McGee, freaking Wes over here, and then also, pillows, and then before that, some ass cheeks. So I was like, okay, back to the game.
Now we're with Evelyn and Paula and Cara. Three of them stand there, and Paula says, I have to win because people are coming to me on the street now and saying this is a joke. You suck so bad. This is win already and shit like that. And it was great because Paula's just like, I'm that famous, but she's that famous for fucking sucking, and I totally agree. And then meanwhile, Cara's like, Laurel and I don't even talk outside the missions, and here she is talking to probably her biggest threat as another female partnership. So. That's interesting. Next, we have Camilla and Teresa. Great little team. You've really reminded me that Camilla and Teresa are actually really awesome. So I'm paying attention to them even more. And
that's
she's
my team
we
this
have
season.
to talk to
Let's
people
do it.
Because when people are talking, they're not just talking; they're talking game. And Camilla's saying we have to start making friends. Now this is interesting to me because this is Camilla's second season. And remember, she went in every time in Cutthroat.
Because she had no friends. So now she wants friends.
And now Teresa's her partner. Teresa no longer has that in with Kenny or Wes.
No longer has an in with Kenny and Wes, you're right.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
What is going on
I do this sometimes throughout the podcast. Even in the past shows, I do this weird monotone voice. And it doesn't make any sense, and it makes me laugh, though. So when I listen, I go, there it was. You did it for you, Scotty.
Personal thing for yourself. That's your little shout-out to yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Vince. I usually, that's what's been the case, but today I went a little longer, and I apologize for that. Continue on.
I'm just saying it's interesting that Teresa now finds herself she feels like she's on the outer limits with the rest of the teams.
And
even though it makes sense that Camilla would be out of it. Okay, so finally, fuck all that, man. This is the moment where CT and Wes are sitting together. It's 11:30 at night. Everyone else is asleep, and they're drinking wine.
Talking about Adam.
Wes, this is one of the best fucking scenes, is it not?
No, it's one of the best scenes in the show, season-wise. Even just looking back, you go, wow, CT was literally yelling at Wes for hours. And Wes is just sitting there kind of bored out of his mind. And it's interesting to see this because typically if someone's getting in someone's face like that, someone's either coming back at him or kind of just backing down. But this is literally just Wes just looking off into the distance, bored out of his mind. He's still going on with this right now. And there's a quote that CT said, because they were talking about Adam at first. And he's like, I got a 145-pound chicken wing with me. What? CT, you say the strangest things sometimes. I love it, but really.
That was an amazing line. It was fucking fantastic. I don't know. The night started off cordial between CT and Wes, and then finally Wes is like, yeah, Adam is your weakest link, and we're going to go at you through that way.
Basically summing up what I said in the episode before this, saying that Adam is thinking they're on his side because, CT is a bad guy, but really they were on his side because CT's a, strong competitor, right. And they're trying to go after him to kind of just, whatever, fuck with him. Like, they were not going to be his friend regardless.
Yeah, and, so as soon as CT hears that, Wes says, I'm going to do everything in my power to get you out of here. And this is when CT gets really fucking pissed, because Wes is like, I intimidate you, don't I? And CT's like, no, not even a little bit. Because I'll fucking, snap your fucking neck and I'll tear your head off and shit like that.
I'll eat you.
Even if I get eliminated, I'm taking your head with me and shit like that. Like, he was just, like, fucking going off. And he's, like, I can't even quote every single line that he says, but...
I want to see the raw footage of this.
It's literally just, like, 4 to 5 hours straight of CT just yelling at Wes. And the great thing is, you mentioned how Wes is just, like, sitting there taking it. On interview that Wes had, he was just like, basically, production was like, why don't you sit here and interact with CT while he's yelling at you? And Wes is like, okay, well, for every hour I just demand a bottle of wine or something like that. So, like, every single hour they would come in and give him another bottle of wine, and he'd drink it while CT's just spewing out all this horrific shit in his face. It was absolutely nuts.
I'll sit here if you bring me
more
more.
So it was just
booze.
Like two fucking challenge stars getting in a fight, but not getting in a fight. I mean, this is a verbal beatdown. CT knows that Wes wants CT to lose his shit and sucker punch him like he's done to Adam, like he's done to Davis.
Oh, yeah. Because he started throwing his stuff off the balcony. Like, he threw
that
CT's
was amazing.
Off, threw his blankets
At that moment, I was like, he's fucking
and
dead.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I thought CT was going to jump up the balcony Romeo style and just strangle the shit out of his little Juliet. You know what I mean?
Because that's pretty badass for someone like CT to be yelling at you and then kind of still not even giving them the time of day as they yell at your face for 2 hours. But then to leave that and then go ignite the fire a little bit more by throwing his bed off and stuff. Like, it's crazy to think that someone was doing this to CT, who was, like, insane. No, like, even if CT did get mad and punch Wes in the face, like, that's gonna fucking hurt Wes. You understand that you're gonna be in pain, but I don't think, maybe he wasn't thinking that. He just really wanted him gone because he was in love with Mandy, and that's really what this podcast is about. Wes's love for Mandy.
This is all for her, really.
Taken away by that goddamn prick CT.
It's just, I don't know. It's an amazing scene. It goes on for a while. If you can check it on YouTube, the uncut version. There's so many quotes that weren't involved in the episode where CT's just sitting there and he's like, die, die, die. Like, he just screamed like that. So anyways, eventually, CT actually comes back up.
It's the next morning.
Oh, there's a little scene, just just a little bitty segment, and he's like, "You think you're gonna get rid of me by throwing off a little twin-sized mattress over the balcony? Get real, you know?" And he gets in his face again for 2 straight hours. I hear, because it's like from 11 to 4:30, so it could have been 2 hours at the table, then another 2 hours on that fucking bunk bed where Nehemiah and Brandon are trying to sleep. They're like, "Fuck, man, god damn it," you know what I mean?
Wes is like, what do I do? And Nema's like, go to fucking bed, bro. I've been listening to this fight for how many hours? I want to sleep.
Oh my god, it was so fucking awesome. He's in his face, and you have the iconic imagery of him in Wes's face yelling like, "Who's scared of you now? Who's scared now?" You know, shit like that. From the trailer and the promos and shit. So it's awesome, man. Next morning. Wes comes back up again, saying, like, "See Tizzle!" And
yes, he does. And CT just freaks out again.
Pretend you were talking mad shit. Yeah, that was crazy.
Moment of the show.
So finally, Kenny's like, "This is enough of this shit, man. Like, he's my partner. Wes, come over here. Let's do the fucking mission." So let's talk about the mission, man.
Yes, finally, a mission that doesn't only last 30 seconds each person. Like, this is something that I feel like they had a good time doing. And it was a little more fun for me to watch. You know, as I mentioned, I've seen the season multiple times. So at this point, I didn't feel as bored watching this one as I did.
Every episode has gotten better in this season. And just like when I'm watching this, I'm like, this could have been the first episode, you know, because they fucked it up so royally. We covered that before, but this one's called Sink or Swim. It says there's a crate. You jump in a box, and there's like 1,000 pounds of sand in the container. That's a lot of fucking sand.
And then whoever gets the sand, like, I don't know, how much sand were they supposed to get out? Just an amount that helped them rise quicker? Because it seemed like
just sails up, right?
One team got a certain amount out, all of a sudden they were at the top. So it was like, it didn't seem like a gradual thing. It was just, they're both here, then all of a sudden the other team.
I don't really understand. Like, I figured, like, maybe all that sand was really weighing it down. It would slowly go up, but it was really weird. So once they do that, the crate will rise up, they'll get on the platform, and they'll have to jump, both of them, grab the zip line handlebar.
And then with this, they would zip line all the way down, if successful, to a certain point in the water. Then they have to swim, just up to a buoy? Was that the kind of thing? And that's where the time would stop? So that was it. So if they zip lined down, they would get to the buoy a lot quicker, obviously.
Yeah,
but if they did not,
they could jump in the water, but they cannot grab the handlebar and pull it towards them. They have to jump from platform to handlebar.
They cannot.
After the fact, post.
Do you think that was one of those things that was kind of like made more of a fact after they did that? Like, no, we said this, and they went, sorry, we'll get to there in a second. First up, John A. and Jasmine versus Teresa and Camilla.
Hold on, man. Jesus Christ.
We were jumping up a bit.
You have. Well, I'm trying to figure out.
We were jumping up a bit with the whole. They have to grab it at the same time. We got to go back.
Let me find it. Okay, no. Okay, real quick. CT and Adam have to make the order. Is that kind of important?
Yes,
it's worth noting because they won previously.
Right.
It's establishing shit. I swear to God. Every time I podcast with everyone, I'm just like, do you even want to talk about the show? Because they were just like, no, I don't want to talk about that. Let's get to this part. And it's like, sort of my idea.
It's actually not what happened there at all. I've been very specific about what I've talked about in these past couple episodes with you. So fuck you for lumping me into that group.
You're lumped. You're lumped.
I'm unlumping myself. And,
all right, listen.
And the listeners
you
agree.
said Jasmine and John A. Yes, Jasmine and John A. are first against Camilla and Teresa. This is great because they got in that fight earlier, right? It's awesome. So much so that John A. and Jasmine throw fucking dirt on Camilla and Teresa.
On the other faces.
Oh, yeah. How'd you feel about that?
Really,
did you feel that was trashy, competitive?
I was hoping Camilla would jump out of her box into their box and really just let some stuff go down.
Yeah, Camilla get in that box.
Yeah, Camilla get in her box.
Yeah.
But no, it was at first I was like, oh shit, I can't believe they're doing that. But then they just kept doing it, so it really slowed each other down.
Right, yeah.
Like, because they started just doing it to each other. It was just
stalemate.
A little obnoxious.
Stalemate. But in the end, Camilla and Teresa, they get to the platform first. They sail up there.
Over there on freaking John A's side, Jasmine's like, oh, wow, that boop. Giving up. She's giving up over there.
Yeah, sitting down crying. That sucks. She's just like, I don't understand why I won't go up. And neither do we. So I'm pretty sure I would have cried, too. I would be like, what the fuck? Like, you know. Okay, so Camilla and Teresa, they get up to the platform. They jump. They grab the bar, but they lose their grip, and they fall.
Yeah, they just slip right off.
Yeah, so they have to swim. Then Jasmine and Johnny finally get up there, but they jump and lose the grip as well. So, yeah there you go. Next is Sarah and Caitlin, and Laurel and Carmaria. Laurel and Carmaria get up there first, but then...
Yeah, what I got from this was, like, Caitlin and Sarah both weren't really trying that hard. When I watched the footage, they're just kind of like,
Yeah. Both of them were?
And I'm making movements of my hand at this point to, indicate that I'm slowly throwing dirt out of a box. I don't feel like they were really like putting their all into it. And I didn't understand that. Maybe we were seeing footage of them 8 minutes into it to where they kind of slow down a bit, but I don't feel like even after 8 minutes I would slow down at all. I am 100% going balls to the wall.
Yeah? What if you don't have those said balls? What if you were Caitlyn in this scenario? You don't know. All right, so anyways, Laura and Carmier, they get there, and did I say that as soon as they get to the platform, I think Laurel and Cara, either they both agree or Laurel tells Cara to just
Laurel's
grab
like, let's do it. Yeah. Let's just grab it. Come on.
It's super.
Mario, grab it.
Yeah, grab
and
it.
And the car is like, okay, fine.
Slide down, DQ.
Immediately, Tej is like, come on, girls. We specifically stated not to do
in ADR. That exact line this episode
exactly.
was
I
don't
know if that was like a real thing. I feel like they were like, hey, you can't do that. And they're like, what? And it's like, yeah, we said it earlier. You probably weren't listening, though, because you're...
No, they could even be like, no, we didn't fucking hear that. And they're like, we're the producers, and we're in charge of the ADR, so prove it. Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
It'll make it seem like you did, though, so step back.
Yeah. So then Sarah and Caitlin, they finally get up to the platform. They jump, and they lose grip. They take a digger, as CT says. These kids are taking diggers. But one of the funniest parts, I have no idea who said this, but like when Sarah and Caitlin are swimming to that buoy finally, they were like, kick with your legs. And then someone says, yeah, use your third leg. Obviously. I have no idea. It kind of sounded like Brandon, and if he does say it, that's probably even better because they were partners in Freshman 2 and shit. So I'm pretty sure Caitlin was cool with it. So it wasn't hurtful. It wasn't, don't get in an uproar on Twitter or anything about it. So next is Jen and Mandy and Paula and Evelyn. Paula and Evelyn are up to the platform first. No big fucking surprise there. And Paula wants to jump in the water because it's safer, but Evelyn's like, no, we gotta fucking try it, which fucking makes sense, man. You gotta fucking try it.
Yeah, why not? We're wasting time right now discussing this at this point.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, like, it's pretty common knowledge that the producers test this stuff beforehand, right? I mean, nobody is getting this bar at this point and successfully going down. How many people tried this? Was it just like they tried it 16 times and went, yeah, see, we got on the 16th time. We'll still have them do it. Like, no one's getting it. And I feel like it looks very hard to actually accomplish. People are jumping at the same time, trying to grab, and it's just not working out. It's a little frustrating for me as a viewer to watch so many people fail this certain part.
That's true.
And then remember that I know that they test this stuff. So I'm like, what is going on right here? Why did they include this still?
Yeah, I mean, like Jen and Mandy, they finally get to the platform. They jump. They every single team so far, minus Laurel and Carmaria, have jumped up successfully, both grabbed the bar, and then just slid off for some reason. Way more DQs than the very first episode that we had. And remember, episode 2 was ripe with DQs as well. Like, this is the most DQs we've had. It's really frustrating.
Ever in a season. It's surprising to see DQs still, and not necessarily DQ at this point, just still people not being able to do exactly what these people are wanting. We're 21 seasons in, and all of a sudden we're having people not be able to do the missions that they're trying to put us through.
So now, Leroy and Mike.
Mike.
Against Ty and Brandon. Ty and Brandon actually get there first to the platform. Good for them. They jump, they lose grip. This sucks. Again. Absolutely. So next, Leroy and Mike, they finally get to the platform. They jump, they lose their grip. Leroy basically falls on Mike, right? In his chest.
Right. And
maybe.
Can we talk about this groan that Mike does that we heard 6 times in the previews?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
In the preview, then in the beginning clip of today on the challenge, the groan, and then the preview before this actual moment happens. So, like, after the commercial break, like, it's just, come on, dude. Like,
yeah.
It's so embarrassing for him. It's such a funny-ass groan.
But they, basically the producers were left with a hilarious YouTube clip, some sort of fail of the week YouTube where they're like, listen to this guy cry out in pain and he's out of breath and shit. And that's basically it. I don't know about you, but I've been knocked the breath out of me, and I probably sound not that bad, but I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, you don't sound, there's no way to sound masculine. Right. And especially with little Mike, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was bad, though. It was overplayed, like you said.
Bad. He was spitting up blood.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Wasn't
good.
Fucking
crazy. But it should be mentioned that he still did outswim Brandon and Leroy. Take that as you will. If you know the other two's track record for swimming. So, yeah.
Oh, right, of course. Not anything else.
Really, that's it. I mean, like, we could include that other, hurtful shit, but hurtful. It's not hurtful to point out someone's race.
It's hurtful. They're black. I forgot.
12 years a challenger.
Did you want to talk more?
Oh,
about
no.
Mike
But then Mike, he has to get into the ambulance. And he's like,
can Roy Lee come with me, please? Yeah, sure, Mike. You look like you're really upset when you're more worried about him coming with you than the pain you're going through. Great.
What? It really painted a picture of a partnership. That's so the fucking partnership. Get over it. You know, you're so fucking jaded sometimes, Scott.
I do like them as a team, though.
Yeah. I mean, that scene really, like, imagine you're not you, and some fucking girls, hot-ass girls, are watching it. They're like, oh my god, that's so fucking hot. Or not hot, but, like, sweet. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, did you think that Mike wanting Leroy to come with him on the ambulance was hot?
No, I mean cute.
This was a hot moment.
Yeah.
Really got me going.
Yeah, girls got
had to
wet.
replay it a few times.
Leroy climbed into the ambulance.
You be there for your friend.
It's Evan and Nehemiah versus Johnny and Tyler. Johnny and Tyler actually get there first, up to the platform. But then they get up there, and Tyler freezes. He gets so fucking frightened. Keep in mind, he saw everyone just, like, take huge diggers, as CT says. So he's frozen in place as soon as Johnny jumps up. He doesn't even fucking jump. That sucks.
Well, after the mission, Johnny's like, do not hesitate.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you do, you cannot pull that shit during a mission.
Yeah.
And I agree. Good words. Well, Evan was also scared, though. Like, Nehemiah was up there with him. And he was like, yeah, you know, Evan was scared. And it's like, what happened to the Evan that won so many challenges?
What happened to the Evan that kicked my ass in the duel, too? Like, what happened to him? You know, shit like that. But yeah, no, it is really weird because at this moment, you know, Evan got there first. And he's like, no, my hands are too slippery. Like they're too slippy. They're too slippy. He keeps on saying that. And he's like, let's just jump in the water. And then, you know, they do. And even Kenny's like, oh, that was stupid. And, you know, Nehemiah's quote, and I'm like, really? Evan's been a little different this season. CT mentioned this in the beginning of the episode, saying, like, you know, Evan looks like he's pregnant. You know, he's a little chubby, a little fat, you know? Got a little spare tire there.
Like, oh, my hands are too slippery?
That is weird.
Since when?
Yeah.
My fanship of you is a little slippery at this point.
Okay, so finally, it's CT and Adam and Kenny and Wes. CT and Adam, they get there first.
Why did CT and Adam put themselves against those two? Have them go first.
No, because, like, I mean, we kind of skipped this part, but this is when Adam was like, Kenny's my boy, you know that, so he's going to go last or whatever. And CT's like, who's he going to go against? Us.
Adam, you dumbass. Anyway, Wes, and he's like, after getting yelled at for hours, it's important that we beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did say that he was, like, shooken up by it. He was just like, I was so disturbed by that. He even told, you know, Adam in the morning, he's like, I've never been bullied to that extent in my life and shit like that. And this is coming from a fucking redhead. You know what I mean? So you gotta fucking appreciate that. All right, so finally, CT and Adam, they get to the platform first, and they make the jump. This is fucking awesome, because no one has made the jump.
Right.
They both landed.
No one is expecting anyone to make the jump.
No. Yeah, I was just like, what? So as soon as it happens, it's amazing. And they land in the water, they cross really quickly, but I'm like, they're so... One is like a huge dude, and the other guy's like a 140-pound chicken wing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How were
that
they
happen?
the ones that were able to do it? So did they tighten up the, you know, the little bar at that point? Like, oh shit, no one's getting there. Let's tighten it up a bit to where no matter what they were gonna land it. I don't know the logistics behind it. All I know is that they got the mission done in 4 minutes and 16 seconds, which is crazy. How much, like, if anyone else would have ridden down like they did on that pipe, then it would have been a little bit closer, I guess.
I don't know how it worked, but it was so thrilling to see it work and to see them, of all people, do it, because next is Kenny and Wes. They jump, they lose grip, they fall, they have to swim.
Wes said, I don't know what Kenny did wrong, but he did something wrong. Like, it was Kenny's fault, of course, not his own.
All right, so...
Tej. Hey, I'm Tej. Guess what? It was real close between a couple people, but who wins the $2,000 out of the men? Back when it was nice to win something on an off day.
Yeah.
Now who gives a shit? Doesn't matter.
I feel like it's more reasons to gloat. Just like, hey, man, I'm fucking making bank. Like, I just made bank in front of you, bitch. Oh, yeah. Like, on camera and shit.
I just made $1,000.
Yeah.
And you made an embarrassment of yourself.
So, Cara and Laurel, they're DQ'd. They're going to the jungle because they touched that fucking beam and shit. But now it's up to the top two teams of the day with the girls. Doing Evelyn and Paula and Camilla and Teresa. Evelyn and Paula win it once again. There's their second win. And Camilla and Teresa, this is their second runner-up mission. Like, they're top-tier performers, you know, but they just can't fucking snatch that win. And it kind of sucks seeing what happens later on, you know what I mean? Like, it does.
Those are my girls.
Yeah.
Those are my girls.
And Paula says, I've never done this good, like, ever, and shit like that. And I remember at this point, when watching this season, I'm like, yeah, because Evelyn's amazing, and we just kind of figured to put you with her, because you guys tend to be on the opposite sides of voting, but no clear-cut rivalry at all, besides, like, one elimination round, but whatever. So, I don't know, I remember at this point, I'm like, fucking Paula. Evelyn's gonna take you to the very fucking top. That's how I fucking felt. Because she has the sympathy card. She just said how, like, people go up to her on the street and say, you know, this is bullshit, Paula, win already, retire, you know? Like,
retire.
Yeah,
it's just retire.
It's like, what? Yeah, that's how they all sound. Mike returns. Paula says, right. Like, oh,
I guess I didn't give a shit about Mike returning, so I was like, oh, that's who would put that there in their notes? Just kidding. Go ahead.
I swear to God, every time I do a podcast, they're like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, so some people want to fucking know.
I want to know. That's weird.
So
that
Mike
you said
returns, and Paula says, like, the slut that she is, she's like, I was promised you sex if you came here and shit like that. I'm like, oh God. Like, you know, she's supposed to be a veteran and shit, and she's just throwing it out there.
For some from the kid who went,
yeah, that is a good point. She's throwing it at shit like that.
You know who I like? The kid who keeps talking about wheat, showing his butt cheeks, and groans like a little weirdo. Hey, Great job, Paula, you fucking nutcase. All right, and next note.
Camilla, she comes into the JEK room, and they're basically saying, hey, you can relax. In fact, actually, Adam's in that room. And he says, mathematically, you're okay. And then everyone else is like, yeah, you're totally okay. Because they tell her that they're going to throw in the rookies, which makes sense.
Right.
So you cut to Paula and Evelyn, Mandy and Wes. They're talking. And Paula's like, why don't we try and get rid of Laurel and Cara Maria with another good team, like Camilla and Teresa? And that's when Mandy says, well, they just promised them to throw in the rookies or whatever. So that's when Wes is like, let me do work. So then he gets a meeting together once again, and then that's when Paula's like, to the JEK, she's like, you guys tell me every season you want me to win.
Yeah.
And I know it's bullshit, fans know it's bullshit, but now this is my chance, and I want to throw in Camilla and Teresa. And of course, Johnny's like, why should we
I like this. I like this about Bananas at this point is... As much shit that he has done, he is literally trying to stick up for Camilla at this point. Like, no, we should not throw her in. And I think that's kind of like a normal thing for him. But at the same time, I kind of saw it as more as he's fighting for Camilla at this point.
Even Evan and Kenny, they were just like, why shake things up? We put in the rookies. It makes sense.
What Paula is saying makes perfect sense. Obviously, the guys are kind of thinking one way, but what Paula is coming out... Like, no, that's exactly the kind of shit you need to do if you have a chance. Especially when someone DQs.
Now we're at deliberation, and it starts off immediately with Camilla and Teresa saying, hey, send in the rookies. But this is when, I don't know, it kind of gets jumbled a little bit. Because Cara's like, hey, Laurel, who do you want to put in? And Laurel won't even say a goddamn thing.
Yeah,
it is really irritating at this point.
It's like, you don't have a vote anyway, blah. And like, you could still say it, I guess. So maybe people would vote towards that person just because, but...
Do you think it's because Laurel's
if Laura
like, I'll just go in no matter what?
If Laura would have just said, oh, hey, Jasmine and Johnny, everyone would have voted them in, and they would have had like an easy, people to go in against. Why not just say those people?
I mean, she was not saying a damn thing. So, yeah, exactly. It is frustrating for me and Cara.
Yeah. If I was Cara, I would have been pissed she wasn't saying anything. I want the easy team to go in against me.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull a move against another team like Paula's doing to them right now. And all
Paula stands up and she's like, Laurel and Cara Maria are a very good team. Let's put in another great team against them. This makes sense for you, and you. And she's pointing out all the other teams, and they're like, oh, for sure, which is the truth. And then Paula, she makes everything better by making it all a joke. She's like, this is for the first time, it's not politics, it's logic. Oh, I'm a space cadet, I've never won. And everyone laughs, and they're like, yeah. So they agree to put in Camilla and Teresa.
Which is a great move. But if Laurel maybe would have just said something already, people would have already had in their minds, let's put in Jasmine and Janae, and maybe they wouldn't even paid attention to Paula at that point.
Yeah, so now that afterwards we're given a lot of scenes of where like basically Camilla and Teresa are saying they're quitting. They're not going to try. This is
sayonara. See ya. We're leaving. Bye.
Teresa sells this more than anyone else. Like she's the one that's so irritating. They're like, you know what? I want you to quit.
She was so annoying with it.
But I mean, that might have been part of it. Like to actually sell that she's going to leave. Like she's such a huge brat. You know what I mean? And I've always viewed Teresa as like she's got a strategy. She has a game plan every time. And right now, this is her game plan.
Throw the other team off their game. Oh, we're going to get handed this easily. Cool.
Okay, so real quick, CT and Mandy are talking, and Mandy's like something about how many ways can you have sex? You could, it's love, it's fucking, and sometimes it's choking. And she's like, can you choke me out or something like that? And CT's like, no, I would never, like, even if she asked me to, she's out of her mind. Like, that sounds like jail time to me. Like, no, Your Honor, she asked me to fucking choke her out.
Yeah, I would never choke a girl either, except that I would, and I will do anything you want me to, ladies.
Well, isn't that the question? I mean, I understand you don't like Mandy, but, like, I don't have anything against Mandy.
Oh, I would choke the fuck out of her. Not even in a sexual manner. I will choke that bitch. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, well, imagine a girl that you're, like, okay with, and she's like, hey, yeah, we're talking sex here, and she's also talking about choking. Who gives a fuck? Even if you're not with the choking thing, you still fuck her, and then she's like, okay, now choke me out, and you're like, no.
Yeah, like,
you already got
the dick in her, like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll like, choke you, definitely, when you're fucking her, like, hey, earlier I said I was going to choke you, but really I'm just going to continue to have my dick in you.
Okay, so after all that, I think she goes to Wes and Paula and Evan, and they're just like, he's horrible, and
one of the most horrible human beings, and you want to flirt with him? That's Wes.
Yeah. We should make you fall in love with you, and burn your house down, something like that.
Paula calls him poison. It's all very obnoxious, like.
Girl, she's
because he punched Adam in the face a couple seasons ago, like,
and Davis
Let's forget that as well. He doesn't have a history of making girls fall in love with him and destroying their lives. Not really.
Well, that's the long con. We're talking the long con. All right, so anyways, after all that, Mandy's like, I'm sick of this. And she goes directly to CT and just repeats everything that everyone just said. And it's great. And then CT has the great line of saying, he's in the confessional. It's like, truth be told, I am being a big flirt with all the girls because I want to break up that alliance a little bit, So I'm throwing out some flirty bait, and Mandy bit hard.
Oh, yeah.
She bit really fucking hard.
That was a good line.
Again, it's just like another scene where Mandy's like, oh my god, CT, and CT's like, Mandy. Look at that. Can you believe it? All right, and then, so finally, Camilla and Teresa finally reveal after everyone, I don't know, it's just a huge montage of people saying, you're going to regret this one day, and they're like, sayonara. That's Teresa.
And then they pull the curtain back and go, psych, we're going to beat these bitches' asses. And again, it's a nice gameplay. Make them think that they're going to win easily, and then actually put up a fight, and then catch them off guard.
Right at this moment, Cara and Maria and Laurel don't even talk. Like Cara Maria sits there and she's like, talk to me. Like, what do you want? What do you like? And like, what's your favorite color? Anything. Tell me anything, Laurel. And Laurel's like, where I'm at politically. Like, she's so cold. She's so fucking detached. I feel kind of sorry for Cara Maria. So finally we're at the jungle, and it's called Door Jam. And it's not physical at all.
I like this elimination. I do like this. I like eliminations like this where they're both kind of going at it and they both... It's not necessarily up to random, but it's at the same time anyone can win. And it does have a lot to do with kind of where you're at and how quickly you're moving and how fast you're pushing one door closed. And you have to notice what they're doing from the other side. What doors are they closing quickly? And what doors are they not? So where should I be pushing and focusing on? I think there's a lot going on here, and I really enjoyed this elimination. It's hard to watch this, though, because you don't really... Like, it's such a long time, and you don't really know who's winning at what point. So it's hard in that sense, but from a competitor standpoint, I do enjoy this mission.
Was it 5 minutes long?
It's a long time.
A big wall, 48 doors with a logo on each side. You got to like flip it. So like at the very end, at the end of 5 minutes, it'll finally have all the logos on your side more than their side and shit. So to me, I'm just like, wow, that's excessive. I almost feel like that should only be like 2 minutes,
right,
maybe something like that. But 5 minutes, that's a lot. But it starts off and it doesn't matter, you know, like. Immediately, Laurel is like, "Oh, they're not quitting." Camilla and Teresa,
and this is one of those things where, like, it was a good gameplay if it wouldn't have been this. So it just
yeah.
You never know what elimination you're going into. So right away, Laura goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess they're not quitting." So that whole build up to this elimination was really null and void at this point, but it was still
exactly.
You never know what was going to happen, so it was a nice try.
I personally probably would have cut out most of the shit where they're like, "No, we're leaving." You know, like when Teresa's really selling it, she does the great job. She's so annoying. She comes off as a brat, but since it never even pays off, why even include it? You know what I mean? So, but whatever. So they're going, and it's basically Laurel versus Teresa because they're the two tall chicks, and then Camilla and Cara Maria and shit. And this goes on for 5 minutes. You can't really tell, but in the end, Camilla and Teresa have 19. Laurel and Cara Maria have 26. They win. I'm just kind of left underwhelmed a little bit.
Yeah.
2 in a row for the female jungles, I'm saying.
Obviously, they were my pick of the season, so I was a little upset that they left.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, what are you going to do, I guess? Paula's move worked out very well for her because who knows, those two could have won the next mission and turned the tables on them. So luckily it worked out for her. Otherwise. So
now, in terms of the girls, if you remember, Anissa and Robin, they left episode 1. They were also in the second place spot for the females that episode, and they got eliminated. And these girls, they've been in the number 2 spot in 2 episodes in a row now, and they're getting rid of. So this is very systematic. They're really getting rid of all the powerful teams. And what are we left with? Sarah and Caitlin? The rookies, although they did get first place, you know? So the girls, they are getting rid of some fucking competition. Right. So that's interesting. Okay, so the very last scene of the show is the JEK plus Wes, and Johnny's saying, like, there's only one team that matches up with CT and Adam, and if we want to get rid of them, it's Evan and Nehemiah. And Evan's like, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And Wes is like, so let me get this straight. What's going to happen? Either Kenny and I win, or you and Tyler win, and Evan and Nehemiah, they just throw the thing. So they're automatically in the jungle. We send CT and Adam in. That is the plan.
I think this is I think it's a very stupid plan. Out of their group, those two, I wouldn't necessarily have all the faith in the world of definitely winning an elimination. So I think, as much as I like those two, they're one of my favorite guy teams on this show. When you look at, they're a little more balanced on the other two ends of it. And I just think it's a little silly to kind of... Evan, for whatever reason, is really up for it. So, I mean, that would be really easy if he was kind of being like, no, I'll go into elimination, eliminate him. Cool, dude, you have that much confidence in yourself, go for it. But, and as a viewer, it just, out of the group, it doesn't seem like the most logical thing for them to do, is to lose it on purpose and then try to send him in against Nehemiah and Evan.
They're saying, it's like, listen, CT and Adam, they're working together, despite hating each other.
Yeah.
Do we want them in the final? No. We want the three of us, the friends, the amigos, the JEK in there. So this makes sense how, like, hey, if they're not going to get last, we have to manipulate the situation. This is what the JEK does.
Like you said, they kind of have, it's a smart move. It's the kind of thing they have to do if they want to just get rid of him and never have to worry about him again.
It's thinking outside the box. It's trying to use the rules to make sure that they get what they want.
Right.
That's basically what we're looking at. And this is going to be the second time in the history of Evan's career that he's going to personally try and call out CT in an elimination. And that's worth noting. He tried to do it in the duel. I don't know if you remember that.
I do not recall.
You don't, do you?
I do not recall that. But, and it sucks because I feel like I know the shows pretty well. But maybe he's wanting a rematch here then. Maybe that's part of the situation as well. Is like,
yeah, Evan CT too, right?
Right.
That's what they say in UFC bouts and shit like that. All right, well, that's the end of the episode. Awesome episode. It was
a good
season
watch.
So far has been building.
Oh,
every episode's been way better than the last.
Agreed.
So that's good. Yeah. Subscribe,
comment,
like, try and share it with the world, share it with other fans. Was that it? That's about it.
You can do anything you want with this. You can listen and have a friend over and listen. Do a double listen. That's what we'll call it. Invite some pals over, a listen party.
Oh my god, I feel so dirty knowing that my oral abilities is being used for a group. All right, so that's it. Battle of the Challengers podcast with Vincent Cloud,
Scotty Alwood. Hey, by the way, why don't you put my name in the description of what's going on here? People are coming to your page thinking that it's going to be you and Dave again, and then I'm like over here like, no, dude, it's me. I'm a new guy. I'm here. I promise that it's not just the same thing. Maybe they're seeing the description and going, wow, Dave again. Nothing new here. But no, it's me. It's Scott.
You want Scott Alwood up there? I'll put it up there, man. I know that you have your own channel, your own fan base.
You go, oh, hey, by the way, this whole time of Rivals 1 is with Scotty Alwood.
By the way, BTW.
BT-dubs, dude. S-A. It's always a pleasure. Right. Thank you to the listeners. Thank you, Vince, for letting me be a part of it. Bye-bye.